In this video, we want to talk about how to figure out whether a function is even, odd, or neither just given its graph. Now, you can see the graph on the right-hand side is the graph of f of x equals x to the third minus 9x. You can see that right here. But you're not always going to be given what the function actually is in function notation. For problems like this, most of the time you're just going to be given the graph, and you want to use the graph and a trick or two to figure out whether this is an even, odd, or neither of the two type of function. And you can see over here on the left-hand side, I have written out what each of them would be and what you want to look for. So if it's going to be an even function, then the graph of the function or the curve is going to be a mirror image over the y-axis. So let's go ahead and test for that. So looking at the y-axis, I'm just going to kind of shade it green. If this were going to be an even function, then what happens on the left-hand side of that green line should be the same as what happens on the right-hand side, exactly like a mirror image. And that's definitely not the case, because if that were the case, then it would do something like this dotted line I'm doing right here. It would be more like an M. So it's not a mirror image, so therefore it is not going to be an even function. So we can go ahead and cross that off of our list. And that's all you have to do to figure out whether it is an even function, is see whether it is a mirror image or not. So it's definitely not even. So now let's talk about how to figure out whether it's an odd function based off of its graph. If it's an odd function, you can rotate the entire graph 180 degrees and it's going to look the exact same. So go ahead and look at the graph and kind of, memorize it in your mind for a second. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees, so 90 degrees to the left and 90 degrees to the left again. Now notice, after I rotated it 180 degrees, the blue line looks the exact same as it did before I did that. So just to show you, let's go back to what it originally is. You can see that, and rotate it 180 degrees, and the blue line looks the same. So if that happens, then that means it is an odd function. So for this particular example, this graph of f of x equals x to the 3 minus 9x is odd. So once you figure out whether it's odd or even, that's just going to be your answer. You don't have to worry about the neither, and you're done.